Hello there my fellow holotable heroes, and welcome to another Rise of the Empire territory battles video guide. So I am back with another planet guide. So this is the dark side in sector 4, the Haven class medical station. It took a while to get here because we do have actually 5 missions here, so this means you need 20 Relic dark side units, so it took a while to get them up and running. I was also slowed down a little bit by the launch of the new Naboo raid, what, 2-3 weeks ago, so kind of now I'm moving all my resources into that, but at least I was able to finish off here my teams for the medical station, so I was able to run and complete all the missions in this week in territory battles. So I want to show you in this video what I used and how it works, just in case you're looking for as well the same, like how the missions look like, what teams work and things like that. So hopefully you will find it useful and helpful. As always, you can find these and all my other territory battles guides on my SWGOH for Life website, so go ahead, check it out. If you don't know about it yet, there'll be a link in the description below. So as in the series of these videos, I'll first cover the modifiers on this. Well, it's not a planet, I guess. On the station we'll cover the modifiers, then just quickly show you overview of the battles that I'll be doing, and then we'll finally hit the gameplay. So as always, you can skip through to any section that you like. YouTube chapters will be below as usual. Otherwise, let's go ahead and have a look at the operations. So when you fill operations, you don't get any bonus. However, you disable here the bonus from the enemy, and this is a very powerful modifier. So if you don't disable it at all at the start of the encounter, all allies will get 100% their meter. Yeah, it's just basically, unless you have all 6 operations completed, you might not want to even try, because it's going to be very difficult. Maybe if you at least do 2 operations that they don't get 100% their meter, some of these missions can still be achievable, but you will see like quite a few of them, even with all these disabled, with their ability disabled, there's still some close encounters. So definitely want to have operations completed before you attempt this, otherwise yeah, it's going to be a very rough road. Now in terms of the actual then modifier for the actual battles, that applies both to enemy and yourself. So we have the brainwork outbreak. So what happens is at the start of the battle, everybody is inflicted with brain worms, which is kind of like a locked debuff, although it doesn't look like technically it's a debuff. But yeah, everybody got this status effect, which can't be prevented and cleansed and things like that. And what this does is for each stack of brain worms on the unit, when they take a turn, they will lose 5% health. And also it's immune to allied dispel. So I guess it acts sort of like plague, because that's what plague does as well, right? At the start of the turn you lose, I believe, 5% health as well, and you can't cleanse also. So it's kind of, I guess, sort of plague, if you will. And on the top of it all, it also ignores protection like plague. And on top of it all, whenever a unit has brain worms on them, whenever they use a special ability, the target enemy gains another stack of brain worms. So this is what we're trying to do, is just stay alive, keep stacking as many brain worms as we can on the enemy, and then eventually they will die from that as well, because just from raw damage they are quite durable. Now obviously enemies can do the same thing to you, obviously increase the stack of brain worms. So to counter that, enemies and us, we do get an ability, brain freeze. So what this will do, it will remove all stacks of brain worms from the target, but at the same time also stun them. So it's a kind of a tricky situation, but for the most part your tanks will be having all these brain worms on them anyway, because they're taunting and they're being hit. And if the tank gets stunned when you cleanse off brain worms, I guess it doesn't matter, because they're just taunting, they're not really contributing much to the battle. So you just have to keep an eye out a little bit, and definitely want to spread the brain worms on the enemy kind of evenly. And then we also have this bonus here. So this is from the earlier sectors. When you fill operations, is still carried over to here, and we get to summon a commander droid to the ally slot if available. And then also dispels all buffs on all enemies, which is nice, especially if like they get retribution on them, or you want to remove some taunt or something and your team is out of these spells. This can come in handy. But yeah, not a game changing at all. All right, let's go through the missions. So probably the first mission you might want to prepare for if you do reach this Haven class medical station. If you do have Reva, get your Inquisitors to Relic 8. Now, as you can see, no Grand Inquisitor in there because I usually have to platoon mine on Vendor, I believe, so I never have him available. Now, the good news is, as long as you got a Reva here unlocked, it looks like any sort of combination of Grand Inquisitor, without Grand Inquisitors, any sort of combination of Inquisitors seems to work. I think it's by far the easiest mission here on this station. So yeah, whatever you've got, and then we're just facing in the first wave like partisan fighters, and then also in the second wave is Phoenix with, I guess, well, Sabine is technically in the lead, but yeah, she doesn't have leadership, so Sabine there. So while we do have like 4 generic dark side missions where we can use everything, these 3 here are all the same. So in first wave you face the same partisan fighters that you would in the special mission, and in second wave we do get Phoenix as well, same as in the special mission for Inquisitors, but we don't have Sabine, we have Kanan instead, which makes it a bit easier because Sabine's AoE can be quite devastating. So here you will probably want to use any of the Dark Side Galactic Legends. So this is what I'm using because, spoiler alert, the final mission is reserved for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So we do have Sith Eternal left here because Jabba you need usually in the mix zone, so he's not available to use here. So Sith Eternal with Sith, definitely want to use there some sort of tank there. I've got Sith Empire Trooper there at Relic 8. Night Sisters are actually probably the safest option, even safer than all these other Galactic Legends, just because of the revives and everything. So the core 4 is Talzin, Marin, Zombie, and Daka, and then the 5th can be anything. I'm using Magma Trooper. I have him at Relic 8 from another test I was doing here in the Heaven class medical station. Obviously, if you have any other Night Sisters, great, but I didn't want to, you know, spend my Relic 8 material if I don't need on another Night Sister. But definitely four of these, they're the core, and then the last slot is whatever. And then Lord Vader with Maul, obviously, in a couple of tanks, and Piet, you know, whatever you've got there at Relic 8. Hopefully that can tank a few hits. So these are the kind of generic missions, and then the other mission that's dark side, again, anything can be used here. While technically it is generic, it's a very different mission. We face 2 waves of Sortie lead droids, so 2 waves exactly the same, obviously with the benefit that second wave you start with full turn meter, so it's a little bit easier. But wave 1 is rough. Sortie is very fast, her AoE wipes out weaker units, even Galactic Legends and like Malgus, they barely survive the opening sequence. I had to play around with different lineups here, and yeah, Kylo Ren Unmasked lead will be better in this one. You will see why once we get to the battle. So these are the teams that I used, and in generally, like, well, you know, maybe slightly different variations of what you've got, but that's what we'll have to use here. Reva, Kylo, Lord Vader, Night Sisters, and then Sith Eternal Emperor. Before that, I believe also Imperial Remnants with Dark Trooper Moff Gideon could get something done, but now they have a mission on Mandalore, so you can't really use them here for most part there. But anyway, let me know if there are any other dark side teams that can complete these missions here in the comments below, so I can try and test them out if I do have them. Alright, so with the, I guess, intro and overview out of the way, we are finally ready to begin our first mission. So we'll just start with the easiest one, which is the one where we need to use Third Sister, so that's Reva and any Inquisitors. Again, no Grand Inquisitor on my side, because I platooned him on Vendor. I have him at Relic 9, especially for that platoon there. Well, Operations called now, but even without Grand Inquisitor, no problems whatsoever. I didn't remote for this mission, it's just the mods I do have on my Inquisitors. Some of them have quite solid mods on them, because Inquisitors, once you do have Reva, they are very good. They're even better than some Galactic Legend teams out there, so definitely very valuable team to have in Grand Arena or Territory Wars. So have quite decent speed on them, 6 dot mods, except Night Sister. She doesn't really get a whole lot of use, because obviously you would have Grand Inquisitor in the 5th slot instead of her. but even the 5-dot mods on her are good because protection primaries even at 5 dots are quite good. So you can see without Grand Inquisitor we don't get the bonus turn in the beginning with him to start going, so they are going out first. So I'm just gonna go ahead and heal up 8th brother. He took a bit of a beating there, so just bringing up back to full health and protection, and then yeah, we'll just start whacking these guys. As you can see, whenever we target somebody, they gain an extra stack of brain worm. So this is a little icon there with sort of a white triangle in there. So as you can see, this fighter here has got 4 already. I'm gonna go and push back a little bit turn meter on the other one, so just trying to a little bit control them with the stuns and things like that. And a little bit as well, once you get somebody like in low yellow or red, you can start spreading then brain worms on the others just to speed up the process. You don't need to like just keep hammering one down until they go down, because they will anyway die off from the damage from brain worms eventually. There we go, they're healing up. There we go, one of them died already from brain worms. Now they got retribution, a little bit annoying here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just go ahead, clear off some, I guess, brain worms there from 9th sister. She had 3 already on her. There we go, perfect. 5th brother coming in with his dispel. Again, I'm gonna leave the other guys that are low in health. I'm just gonna start going after this partisan fighter. The other one's in red, so hopefully he'll die off soon anyways, or maybe from an AoE. Oof, not yet. They're very durable, but again, eventually they will go down. Let's go ahead, clear off the brain worms from Reva as well. Guess get me an armor shred, sure, why not? There we go, and from here on out I will just do kind of basics only, because they will die off anyway very quickly now, and I want to have my specials available for the start of the second wave, just so I can a little bit control the enemies. Because yeah, while this looked quite safe the first time I was doing this, I focused all down on Ezra, and then Sabine got a turn, threw out her AoE and knocked out, I think was it 7th sister and 8th brother. Just she wiped them out. I was only left with 3 Inquisitors, which was still good enough to win, but yeah, at least the other guys don't have AoE, so definitely want to keep Sabine stunned, ability block, just keep going after her until she's down. Because you don't want her unleashing her AoE on you and possibly causing trouble. But even Zeb there, I'm like, what's going on, man? He just one-shot my Reva, but luckily, obviously, Reva does have revives, so that's okay. If he would have knocked out 9th sister, again, it doesn't matter, because, she doesn't do a whole lot, to be honest. And yeah, as soon as you got Sabine down, it's not really that scary, this mission anymore, because they don't have AoEs, and then they're just perpetually stunned behind either Reva or 9th sister taunt. And again, yeah, still keep an eye out on Zeb, he doesn't do some big damage, I guess. Got him down, Chopper as well down, and that's it. Earn some get currency for my guild. Now we'll do the free these same missions, the generic ones, just going through them one at a time. I'm using 9 sisters here, but again, they're all 3 of these are the same, so it does not matter what team you use where. In terms of mods, again, I'm not remodding for this mission. Both my Talzin and Marin are modded for the Jabba counter. That's just the mods I have on them. And obviously Daka loaded with health, so she can survive, keep reviving, healing up her sisters. I mean, Zombie, I just have some random stuff on her. I don't know. She just keeps coming back anyways. And then finally, Magma Trooper, I have him modded for potency, because I thought initially that Brain Worm will count as a debuff, so I thought if I bring him with Lord Vader versus Sortie, he'll get lots of turn meter to begin with because of the debuff, and he can use AoE and push back turn meter on all the droids. I go in, he did not get bonus turn meter, which means that Brain Worm is coded in a way that does not count as a debuff. So now I just have him sitting at Relic 8 and just, it's more of a meme, I guess, but maybe Magma Trooper will be useful for something in the future, I don't know. But for now, just might as well use him. But you can use any unit in that 5th slot. You just need these 4 sisters to handle the business. The good thing here is Plague and Brainworms, as mentioned before, they kind of work together. Both deal damage straight for health, so they ignore protection. So, you just get a few stacks of Plague on the enemies, a few stacks of Brainworms, and then they'll just die off quickly. Again, reminder, to apply stack of Brainworms, you need to target the enemy with one of your guys that do have Brainworms and use a special ability. which I kind of forgot a little bit about here. So I started the cleansing of brainworms from all my Night Sisters. So it was, especially after going after Kanan in the end, was a bit tricky. Now here we don't have Sabine, however Partisan Fighter does have an AoE, so I'll just make him a priority. And the other guys just have, you know, single fire damage. So it shouldn't be too much problem to deal with them. But still I'll try maybe, I don't know, stun Chopper so he doesn't get a taunt up, I guess. Maybe stun Ezra, sure. Oh, but now Kanan got a taunt, oh well. Yeah, the annoying thing with Kanan is whenever we land a debuff on him, right, he's recovering health. So it takes a while to take him down. So he's also cleansing of Plague constantly, right? Because Plague gets cleansed when the unit gets back to 100% health. So we really have to rely on brainworms to do all the work for us versus Kanan in the end. But yeah, anyway, we'll just keep going. As you can see, Ezra there, dying off. And yeah, this is where I forgot a little bit about brainworms, so I just kind of started cleansing of brainworms from my Night Sisters. So then it took a while that I was able to stack enough brainworms finally on Kanan, mostly with Zombie, because obviously Zombie keeps getting hit because she's taunting and they keep reapplying brainworms on her. So just a reminder, yeah, if you want to speed this up a little bit, make sure you have brainworms on all your Night Sisters, but again, make sure that you don't die off altogether. And for the next mission that we'll be doing up here, again, doesn't matter in what order, what team you use where, I'll be using Sith and Sith Eternal, and then just a bunch of Sith. Obviously, always good to have some tanks in there. Obviously, Malak and Malgus are used for something else. And there's a mod, again, did not remod for this mission, just what I have on these guys at all times. I mean, some of these units I use, so they will have good mods, right, for Grand Arena and Territory Wars, like these three, Sith Eternal, Revan, as well as Bane, while the others don't get as much use on there. But luckily Sith Empire Trooper, he just needs a bunch of protection, and even 5. Mods will give you enough protection that you can tank a few hits. And then finally Dooku, I got some bonuses, some 6. Mods on him, because sometimes he can be useful with range, but again, he could use some love when it comes to modding more. But he's actually quite useful here, right? He's got like shocks and stuns and things like that. Anyway, we'll just, I guess, link up to Partisan Fighters first, because as mentioned before, they do have AoE, so I'm just gonna link them up. Get Retribution, so now we're hitting back, Dooku counterattacking, stunning. Let's see if we can get a stun over there as well, perfect. More counterattacks, and now Revan can come in with Fear. Now here I was debating, do the AoEs with Bane or not, but then they will lose Fear, they can get a turn, and do a basic on my guys. So I'm like, you know what, let them skip a turn, so I just use basic there with Bane on the enemy that did not have Fear. So let's just let them skip a turn so we can keep controlling them. I'm just gonna do, I guess, I mean, doesn't matter, sure, I'll just do an AoE. Let's get it again, just keep using specials so that you keep increasing the stacks of brainworms on the enemies. Just kind of spreading them around a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring the droid, just an extra target, you know, that AI can hit. Now I'm gonna do my AoE, so you can see Bane doing some decent damage already. Get a stun there with Dooku if you can, just to slow them down. Sure, let's go ahead and remove some brainworms from Sith Empire Trooper, because he's doing all the damage from all the tanking for us, soaking up all the damage. Another AoE coming in there with Bane. Sure, get a stun shock on there. Okay, we got Retribution, so let's just hit whoever does not have Retribution so that, you know, we don't lose our tank. I can just relink now whoever's got high health and protection. I'm gonna link up these 2 other Partisan Fighters. They're definitely more deadly than the Rebel Spies. Definitely always make sure you link up 2 Partisan Fighters. One of them died off already. I guess you could go into ultimate here, unleash the ultimate power, but I just rather instead keep healing my team back to full health and protection, because once you hit ultimate, you lose the protection recover ability, the mass assist. And also I wanted to make sure that the link was off cooldown once I got into wave 2, so I can immediately link, you know, 2 enemies again, just to reduce their damage. Here I was worried a little bit with the counter attack, so I just did basic. But I remember, right, because I think with Kanan they counter attack or something, he brings counter attacks, or maybe that's all only under Hera lead. Maybe I forgot about it. Anyway, I was a little bit worried about doing AoEs because of the counterattack, but I guess without Herald, would Kanan be the only one counterattacking? I don't know. Anyways, I was just a bit, I guess, overcautious here. But anyway, let's get Fear going. I was still... So again, we got guys feared, right? So maybe just do a basic, let him skip a turn. And see if we can stun Kanan perfect. Maybe also, yeah, let's go ahead. Stun Partisan Fighter, he lost fear there. And we're just kind of spreading the damage a little bit. Sure, get me a basic. Again, I was worried about those counterattacks, but yeah, forgot about, I guess, without Hera, Kanan doesn't share his unique of counterattacking with other Phoenix allies. Alright, time to pull off the ultimate. Boom! Got Ezra out, Partisan Fighter out, so they're basically to their damage dealers are down. So probably at this point you could just hit autoplay, to be honest. Like, these guys can't do a whole lot. But I was just, you know, playing it safe, make sure I really get a win. But as you can see, you know, Brain Worms really ranking up already on the enemies, and they should just die off, or I guess we can finish them off there with Sith Empire Trooper. And then we have the final kind of, you know, standard mission here again, same enemies in both waves. And for this one, I will be using Lord Vader with Maul, 2 tanks in there, and Piet. It's what I've got available. Obviously, again, it depends what you have there to use. Again, did not remote for this mission. Obviously, Lord Vader, you want him fast, lots of protection. Maul, I have him modded for health, speed, offense. Royal Guard, as you've seen with some of my other tanks, like whichever mod's got protection primaries, there's no benefit really of bumping them up to 6 dot, because it's only like 0.5% protection more, unless you need more speed. But again, for tanks like Short Trooper, Ninth Sister, Royal Guard, Sith Empire Trooper, they don't need speed. They're just there to soak up damage, so you can save your some relic material, mod materials, and just keep 5 dot mods on them. Vader goes first. We smack an AoE, get some days, then we do an AoE with Maul, then we take a beating a little bit with all these AoEs, but luckily, obviously, with Vader, once drop is below 80% health, we can't be critical hit, so you should be able to tank up the opening stuff. And then here, let's go ahead and increase cooldowns on the Partisan Fighter that didn't use his AoE anymore. And here, instead of unloading all stacks of Anguish, I was thinking, well, maybe if I keep having 5 stacks of Maul on his every turn, then I can keep increasing cooldowns. But then I guess it takes longer to charge the ultimate, so maybe it would be a better choice. I don't know. But as you can see, Royal Guard there hanging on for his dear life, but luckily Short Trooper there coming in with the heal. Let's see if we can drop a raise on these guys, maybe. Again, the fighter that had only 8 stacks of Brain Worms, that's I moved down targets to another Partisan Fighter, so we can also put a few stacks of Brain Worms on them. Again, these guys got 7 already, so I'm gonna now go target another one. Just kind of keep spreading that over and over again. We got now Retribution. So I don't want to hit anybody. Let's just go ahead and clear off Brain Worms from Royal Guard. Ultimate ready. Let's go ahead, lock in the days. There we go. One of them died already. So combination, I guess, with now Brain Worms, damage over time, so they should start going down very quick. So it's really about, you know, surviving until you get to the ultimate. And same Phoenix squad that we've seen already with Night Sister and Sith Eternal Emperor. Again, just increase cooldowns on Partisan Fighter, because there is just only one Partisan Fighter here. The other guys don't have AoEs. I just decided to go all on him and unleash all the stacks there of Anguish onto him. Then again, here I was still a little bit worried about doing AoEs, but I guess I didn't need to, so I just did basic there with Maul. I was looking at Partisan Fighter. Surely he'll die off from damage over times in Brain Worms, but we'll see if he dies off or not. Hopefully he will. Just started working on Ezra now. Oh, actually, Partisan Fighter did not die off there from Brain Worms. There we go. Now he's down. Perfect. Okay, we got a taunt on Kanan. Let's go ahead and clear off, I guess, some Brain Worms from Short Trooper. Short Trooper's down. We still have Royal Guard though. And anyway, we have now already Lord Vader waiting with his ultimate fully charged, so he should be able to do some nice damage there. I mean, Phoenix, they're a little bit annoying with everything, but you know, as soon as you hit your ultimate, You lock in the ability block, lock in the days, and you should be good to go here with Vader as well. So really it comes with already squad. You just have to survive that opening I guess play where 3 partisan fighters with their AoEs are doing a lot of damage. That's why tanks are important. And now for the final mission in this video. Oh boy, I don't know, but this has to be the most brutal mission. Well, let's say the most brutal ground mission here in these territory battles. I guess the Scythe fleet mission is even more brutal, but well, unless there is something more brutal in sector 5 and 6, I can't try them out because I don't even have a full squad of Relic 9 that I could try out somewhere something. But at least within first 4 sectors, this has to be the most brutal one, because Sortie's AoE just wipes out any weak units. Alright, so we'll be using Kylo Ren Unmasked lead. Now, why Kylo Ren Unmasked over Supreme Leader Kylo Ren? If you did not reminder, his lead is actually quite good, but for the purpose of this battle, when a First Order ally scores a critical hit, they gain 20% turn meter. Which means we have 5 enemies, and if Supreme Leader Kylo Ren does his AoE, that's 5 critical hits, that's 100% turn meter for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, which means he can get back-to-back turn with his AoEs. And that's how we can kind of, you know, start running circles around them and keep them under control with the stuns and everything. That's why we need lead from Kylo Ren Unmasked. I have emoted for as much health as I can. Again, didn't remote for this mission, just what I have on these guys at all times. Now, because of gaining bonus turn meter, it's something we had to highlight, because in Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is unique. Whenever a dark side ally loses turn meter, whenever they gain bonus turn meter, they lose 10% of their max health and max protection. So as you're getting more turn meter with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, and obviously Kylo Ren Unmasked in this case as well, they will becoming squishier. Now the good news is, once Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is in the ultimate and you are doing your AoEs, getting bonus turn meter, during ultimate this will not apply. So when you're ultimate, you don't have to worry about it, you can just keep spamming it. So it's really kind of a race that you take out the enemy before you get to squishy and you get one shot on your Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And then bringing in a Bastila as well. Now before that I tried with Sith Empire Trooper in her place, but without her, when Sortie took a turn, did her AoE wiped out my Kylo Ren Unmasked with the amount of health as you've seen on her, and Sith Empire Trooper. They're just wiped out like nothing. So we decided to bring Bastila up to Relic 8 because her unique Bastila and the character in the leading slot, which is Kylo Ren Unmasked, they have extra defense, but most importantly they gain foresight at the start of the battle. So both Bastila and Kylo Ren Unmasked will evade the AoE from Sortie, so they will survive. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Malgus and Malak, they can survive her AoE on their own anyways. So at least like this, after the opening AoE from Sortie, you have a full 5 squad, whereas if previously I only had 3 that they had to then fight up against, you know, 2 waves of the droids. That's why Bastila Fallen I think is great here for this particular lineup. Malak loaded with protection, he can tank the hits. And then as well Malgus, he's got a pre-taunt as well I believe, and he's modded for health, so he's very durable also, so they both can survive. It's really keeping, you know, Kylo Ren Unmasked alive that Bastila helps out a little bit. So first we want to stun BT, he can do a lot of damage. Here comes the AoE, as you can see, even Kylo Ren Unmasked barely surviving that. So definitely a bit scary there. We can now drain BT, and this is where we can now start doing the AoE. So let's just target BT here because he's stunned, so I'm just gonna do that. Back-to-back turns because of Kylo Ren's Unmasked lead. Finished off BT. Because Sortie took her turn already, what I'll do now is just stun Trip, because he can do a lot of damage as well. Let's see if I can fear HK so he does not use his AoE. Unfortunately, it looks like they resisted the fear. So what I want to do now is stun Sortie. Actually, I can now increase cooldowns on HK, so he can all he can do is his basic attack. There we go. And now let's do an AoE. Keep targeting now Sortie with AoE, remember, so we keep putting more stacks of brain worms on her. Well, let's proc the stagger there on trip so he doesn't take a turn. Switch back to sortie, do a basic on her. Ultimate full, you want to hit it straight away so we stop losing max health and protection now when we're gaining bonus turn meter. In ultimate, this will not be happening, and now we just keep swiping at sortie, keep stacking those brain worms on her, keep targeting her. There we go, trip is down. Again, trying to hear ability block HK, even with tenacity down, resisted the ability block, but it didn't matter because the AoE from Kylo wiped them out, and I'm just kind of here doing basics, I guess. Let's go ahead, bring out a friend. I was debating what to do here, but no, you want to save the ultimate for the start of wave 2, so I'm just gonna do a basic and finish off sortie here. Down she goes, and we head into wave 2, which is exactly the same, but now we have full turn meter from wave 1, so we get a little bit more control. As you can see, these guys, they have very quite high tenacity, so let's try and put some tenacity down on them. And first, I'm just gonna go ahead, hit the ultimate, so we get again back-to-back turns because of Kylo and Mask lead. We go ahead, stun sortie, so she doesn't get to do a whole lot. Let's get tenacity down on BT as well. Maybe get an ability. Even with tenacity down, there is this stuff. Oh boy. As you can see, things can and will get messy, but obviously the main thing here is Kylo's in ultimate. He can keep swiping, keep doing his AoEs. Just at the moment still targeting BT. He's the immediate threat because sortie anyway, she's stunned for 2 turns with Kylo. Here I was debating, do I just go for the stun on BT? I decided to do it just in case. You never know what's gonna happen. And we are back to full ult already, so we're gonna go ahead and hit it. Again, barely surviving, as you can see. Very scary actually. I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead, stun HK. He doesn't get a turn. Kylo gets into his second ultimate, and at this point, I think you can take a deep breath. You are good to go. Stun sortie, BT stunned, and I just keep swiping at sortie, keep stacking all those brain worms on her, and eventually the other guys will fall down. Another AoE, back-to-back turns for Kylo's because of the leadership from Kylo and Mask. Hit the ultimate again. And now we just have to get through sortie. I'm like, I would like to dispel buffs, but she'll just resist the shock or something. So anyway, Kylo there with a 500,000 hit in the end, finished off sortie. And there you go, guys. That completes the playthrough of all the missions on Haven class medical station in Sector 4 on the dark side. Again, I guess sortie mission aside, all the other missions are kind of okay-ish. Luckily, the special mission is by far the easiest one. And then if you do have Night Sisters, that's kind of an easy one. Whereas Sith Turner and Lord Vader, they're always a bit on the edge. But as long as you can tank the opening sequence, you can make it through. And the sortie one, oh boy, I was able now to complete it twice in a row with this squad, so I guess it's semi-reliable, but as you've seen, you know, you do come close to dying with some of your units, so I guess occasionally things can go wrong there as well. Alright guys, so that's all for today's video. So the only planet now left here in Sector 4 before I can make a Sector 4 full clear video is Mandalore. Now this will take a while because not only we need a Relic 9 squad in Sector 4, thanks CG for the Bo-Katan mission. Also don't have Imperial Remnants at Relic 8, so I need to bring those guys up there mainly. But with Naboo Raid, I'm kind of shifting my priorities, trying to get, you know, the squads for Naboo Raid locked in at Relic 7, 8. Hopefully I don't need to do Relic 9s for Naboo Raid. Which actually is kind of okay because it gives us more time that the new Imperial Remnant units become farmable, because maybe they'll be better, more useful with Dark Trooper Moff Gideon than the old Imperial Remnants have, like the Night Trooper, the new Death Trooper, right? So maybe there'll be a bit better options to use. So maybe I won't bother with original Imperial Remnants to get them up to Relic 8, but I'll just do the new ones. Maybe that's going to be a better choice because they'll probably be required for some Galactic Legend unlock or something anyways. But anyway, so before I'm back with the Mandalore, I don't know, maybe in 6 months time, maybe. Who knows, maybe by then we'll have Galactic Legend Ahsoka already, so she will be a part of the Mandalore squads as well. So anyway, we'll be very busy with Naboo raid for the next few months. But once I get to Mandalore and finish it off, I'll be back with that video as well. But until then, thank you for watching, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friend.